The rain fell softly against the tinted windows of the black limousine parked outside the elementary school. Inside, Alexander Hayes sat perfectly still, his expensive suit crisp and unwrinkled despite the long day behind him. He had dismissed his driver 20 minutes ago, needing the silence more than he needed the company. Alexander was 34 years old and the CEO of Hayes Industries, a technology company his father had built from nothing. Now it was his responsibility, his burden, his entire life. The leather seat creaked slightly as he shifted, checking his watch for the third time. The school would close soon, and he would drive away, return to his empty penthouse, and prepare for another day exactly like this one. Through the rain-streaked window, he watched parents hurrying toward the school entrance, their umbrellas blooming like colorful flowers against the gray afternoon. They moved with purpose, with somewhere to be, someone waiting for them. Alexander felt the familiar ache in his chest, the one he had learned to ignore over the past 3 years. His thoughts drifted to Emily, his late wife. She had been gone for 3 years now, taken by an illness that moved too fast for even the best doctors to stop. They had been planning to start a family. They had picked out names, painted a room in their home a soft yellow that worked for either a boy or a girl. And then she was gone, and Alexander had thrown himself into work because work did not hurt the way memories did. A small tapping sound pulled him from his thoughts. Alexander looked up, startled. A little girl stood outside his window, her blonde hair pulled into 2 slightly messy braids. She wore a light blue sweater and carried a backpack almost as big as she was. She was tapping on the glass with one small finger, her face serious and determined. Alexander hesitated, then pressed the button to lower the window halfway. Cool air rushed in, carrying the smell of rain and wet pavement. "Hello," he said, his voice rough from disuse. The little girl studied him with large, thoughtful eyes. She could not have been more than 6 or 7 years old. "You look sad," she said simply. Alexander blinked. No one had said anything like that to him in years. People told him he looked successful, powerful, intimidating. But not sad. "I'm fine," he said, the automatic response coming easily. The girl shook her head. "My teacher says that when people say they're fine, sometimes they're really not. She says it's okay to be sad sometimes." Alexander found himself smiling slightly. "Your teacher sounds very wise." "She is," the girl agreed. She glanced back at the school, then returned her attention to Alexander. "Are you waiting for someone?" "No," Alexander said. "I was just thinking." The girl nodded as if this made perfect sense. Then she leaned closer to the window, and her voice dropped to a whisper, as if she were sharing the most important secret in the world. "You need a wife," she said. "And I need a dad." Alexander's breath caught in his throat. He stared at this small, serious child who had just spoken his deepest loneliness aloud. "What's your name?" he asked quietly. "Sophie Miller," she said. "What's yours?" "Alexander Hayes." Sophie's eyes widened. "Like the big building downtown. My mom works there. She's a computer programmer." Something shifted in Alexander's chest. He knew he employed over 300 people, but somehow this connection felt significant. "What's your mother's name?" "Rachel Miller," Sophie said. "She's really smart. And really pretty. But she's always tired because she works a lot and takes care of me by herself." Alexander understood that kind of tired. It was the exhaustion that came from carrying everything alone. "Where is your mother now?" Alexander asked, glancing toward the school. Sophie's expression turned slightly guilty. "She had to stay late for a meeting. My grandma was supposed to pick me up, but she called and said her car won't start. Mom is trying to leave work early, but she sounded worried on the phone." "Are you supposed to wait inside the school?" Alexander asked gently. Sophie nodded. "But I saw you sitting here, and you looked so lonely. Like how I feel sometimes when Mom has to work late and I'm with the babysitter." The honesty in her voice touched something deep inside Alexander. This child had approached a stranger because she recognized a kindred loneliness. It was both concerning and remarkably brave. "Sophie," Alexander said carefully, "I work at Hayes Industries too. Would you like me to call your mother? I can wait with you until she arrives." Sophie's face brightened. "Really? You wouldn't mind?" "Not at all." Alexander made the call to his assistant, who quickly connected him to Rachel Miller's extension. When she answered, her voice was tight with stress. "Ms. Miller, this is Alexander Hayes. I'm parked outside your daughter's school. She's safe with me. I thought you should know. There was a stunned silence, then a rush of words. Mr. Hayes, I'm so sorry, I'm leaving right now. The traffic, Sophie knows not